What we see from the end users of logistics services perspective is an increase of outsourcing of transportation to 3PL in order to minimize the cost. So this is a trend that we already see for a long time in Europe, but we also see that in Thailand more and more firms are outsourcing transportation to 3PL and logistics firms, and this trend is going to continue in the coming years. And the implication of the cross-border transportation and the facilitation of cross-border transportation is more long-haul transportation, and this will also have an impact on truck makers, because logistics firms are going to be more and more consumers and buyers of trucks for long-haul transportations. No matter how oil prices increase in the near future, the road transportation will remain the dominant mode of transport for both domestic and cross-border transit transportation. Even if we speak conservatively, the proportion of transport done by land will remain at least above 80%. For logistics firms in Thailand, we see that at the moment the maximum ownership for foreign companies would be 49%. And with the AEC is going to change to 70% of foreign ownership. So we believe that we're going to see more foreign companies trying to get into the logistic business.
The Cabinet has given the green light to an import of 50,000 tons of palm oil to tackle the shortage problem while assuring farmers of the government's efforts to cushion the price of their produce. According to Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Amnoy Patise, a decision has been made by the Cabinet to purchase a total of 50,000 tons of palm oil from overseas, as proposed by the National Oil Palm Policy Committee. The import will be carried out by the Public Warehouse Organization under regular procedures beginning this February. Following protests by oil palm planters who feared that the import would push down the price of their palm produce, Mr. Amnoy affirmed that the Cabinet made the decision while taking all potential impacts into account. In a bid to safeguard the farmers against a price decline, the Cabinet resolved to offer them a minimum price guarantee at 5 baht per kilogram. The Deputy Minister said the imported lot will bring up the country's palm oil stock to about 200,000 tons, which is deemed appropriate.
The private sectors, as the main drivers of both the regional and global supply chains, play a critical role in ensuring a successful realization of ASEAN as a single market and production base. The ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, is founded on a vision of a single market and production base for ASEAN member states to promote the free movement of goods, services, investment, and skilled labor across the ASEAN region. The AEC aims to foster equitable economic development across the region and the creation of a highly competitive economic region that will be fully integrated into the global economy. A single market for goods and services will boost the development of production networks in the region and enhance ASEAN's capacity to serve as a global production center to better meet the demands of the global supply chain.
We had to look at what is the competitive of each country, and we had to join in that competitiveness. If the country who have energy, so energy business should be in there. Like Myanmar have potential of gas and oil. So this is the area that oil and gas industry may be good in that area. Thailand is still good in agriculture, so agribusiness is still booming and is still going to the vision of kitchen of the world. Vietnam have a lot of talented people hardworking people. So some manufacturing should have to be migrated to Vietnam in order to access. But the transportation and logistics is very important to make sure that the flow of trade, capital, as well as labor can have a more effective movement.
Managing the threat of climate change to the environment and economic development has become a top priority for ASEAN. Southeast Asia is one of the world's most vulnerable regions to climate change. The impacts of global warming are affecting all sectors. Responding to this challenge, despite the climate change disrupting the supply chain, the region has also adopted the ASEAN Multi-Sectoral Framework on Climate Change and Food Security, or AFCC, to mitigate climate change and strengthen the resilience of communities and ecosystems. Climate change is a cross-sectoral issue and requires coordination at the local, national, and regional levels to enhance collaboration among the economic, environment, development, energy, agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and forestry sectors. Strategies for mitigating and adapting to climate change must incorporate the sustainable management of natural resources and ensure food security across the ASEAN region.
As you start thinking about in Thailand or in any other country within ASEAN, that the capabilities that you look at, the port, that you look at the railways, you look at the land, it is one thing is thinking about the infrastructure, that whether they are aligned with the other countries, as well as the regulation, as well as the language issues, as well as what people can expect. So the transparency, the movement of information, movement of money.
Promoting capacity building and educational initiatives to increase public awareness about global warming will also play a critical role in pursuing an integrated regional response to the adverse impacts of climate change.
Last 2 years, since the bottom.
The participation